Roger, do you ever see a situation where you would support giving taxpayer money to private schools either through vouchers or tax credits?
Okay, our fundamental answer to that is no. We have a situation where once we start giving money to private schools, we're going to have to not pick and choose which schools we're going to give those to. I'm fundamentally opposed to my tax dollars going to schools that I don't agree with. So if I don't want it, I know the district doesn't want it, and I'm not willing to vote for it. I think also once you start giving money to private institutions, you're going to start regulating those institutions, and I'm fundamentally opposed to that as well. So no vouchers, no private money going to public money going to private institutions.
School consolidation is an issue that's come up this year. Governor Sanford has advocated going to a one district, one county system. There was a bill that was introduced in the legislature by someone from the county delegation that would have consolidated the districts. Where do you stand there?
I think that the school districts in our county are just where they need to be. I know Greenville County, my wife grew up in Greenville County. She's told me what a mess that whole system was, being one big consolidated district. I don't ever see school consolidation happening here in our district, especially not 4, 5, and 6, which is the district that I'm concerned about. So I'm also fundamentally opposed to school consolidation in Spartanburg County.
Another hot topic has been the need to restrain state spending. Is the way to do that through a cap?
Well, one of the ways we can do that is through a spending cap. I'm for the policy of the population growth plus inflation and capping off our budgets at the rate of growth plus inflation. Revenue restrictions are also another way to do it. Start lowering our taxes, not just tax swapping, but actually lowering the taxes. We have a balanced budget amendment in South Carolina, so if the money we get is the money we have to spend, or vice versa. So I think if you also reduce revenues, you can also lower the spending. But spending caps is one way to go. I know that the current legislature that's representing us now has raised our budget over 40% in the last 3 or 4 years, and they're all saying they're for spending caps now, and they're proposing spending caps in this election year. But when they had the chance to use their own personal spending cap a year or two ago, they didn't vote no for the budget. They voted for the biggest budget increase in our state's history. And so if we can't do it any other way, spending caps are a good way to go.
What specifically would you do to bring new companies, new jobs to South Carolina?
Well, I think one of the main things that jobs are looking for now, it didn't used to be this way, but within the last 10 or 15 years, companies are now moving to where the people are instead of people moving to where the jobs are. So if companies are going to move into South Carolina and Spartanburg County in specific, they're going to be looking for an educated workforce. So it really goes back to the education issue. Where are we spending our money? How efficient are we in our education? Are we getting the job done? Are we improving our education? And also, I think we need to start looking at the spending of our community colleges. I know that there is so much red tape in there in the job they're trying to do to recruit new businesses. I know Spartanburg Community College in my area has programs to where they work with new companies, they set up shop, so to speak, they train their people. But in order to get that done, they have to go through a lot of red tape with the state government, and sometimes that's actually cost them opportunities in my area. I want to make sure we get the regulations off their back so that they can start performing that job. So I think education, the funding of our community colleges is a big factor. Also, we need to make sure we have the infrastructure that's ready for the growth that's going to be coming. We've got that in our area, so we just need to take advantage of it and make sure our workforce is educated.
Last question. We talked a little bit about vouchers. One of the groups that's supporting you has sent out several mail pieces for you with South Carolinians for Responsible Government, a group that is pro-voucher, or at least pro-tax credit. How can the people of the district be sure that if you're elected, that you'll do what's in their best interest instead of what's in the best interest of SCRG?
Well, I've lived in this district for 40 years. The people in the district know me. A lot of them do. The school districts know me. I went to public school in District 5, obviously. The money that's coming in is minuscule compared to the amount of money that I've collected over the past quarter. I think it's less than 10% of the money that I've received. The money that came in for me this time, my opponent took last time, and he tells everyone he has a record of supporting public schools, so it's humanly possible to actually vote correctly. I'm going to stand up for my principles. Public money will not be used for private institutions. I've told everybody that's asked me that. Anybody who's supported my campaign has access to all my campaign materials for the last 2 years. I'm not new in this race. So when they look at that material and they decide to support me, they may be unsupportive of the other candidate. But as far as my stances, everyone is aware of those. I am not for taking public money out of our education system and giving it to the private sector. And if any bill comes up that I see that actually does take money away from public education, I will vote no on that, and everybody's aware of my positions. Anybody is welcome to support my campaign that wants to write me a check, and I'll put it to work. I think my opponent actually answered that question best a couple months ago when, in his words, he said, as far as I'm concerned, the millionaires can send me money, and I'll put it to work for the state. I'll put it to work for District 35 and the state of South Carolina, and that's my feelings as well. I agree with him on that point.
Thank you, Roger.
Thanks.